This is the new Xiaomi 17 Ultra, one of the best camera phones out there on the market. But to get the most out of it, let's go over the best camera settings for it, so we can get the most out of the cameras that we have here. Without further ado, let's begin. First, let's go to the settings. On here, type in camera and go to the first one you see, so the camera. And here we have the settings that we can change out of the camera app, but in the settings of the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. Here, I would highly suggest to turn off the watermark. We don't need that. AI recommendations, some of them are pretty nice. As you can see, I have them set on. Main camera default focal length, let's leave it at 23, that is the normal default. Image format, I would go for JPEG. HEIF is good if you want to have just less space and it's working great on the phone. The JPEG is gonna be more compatible. If you want to take a photo and see it on your computer or other laptop, other devices, JPEG is gonna be the safer option. Picture quality, I leave it at super, I just want to have the best quality you can get. Metering preference, face is the best one in that regard, that if you're taking a photo where there is a face, it's gonna look at the face as the priority instead of something else. So it's gonna be a personal preference and what you shoot, but I would highly recommend having it at face. Selfie settings, here I like to mirror the selfie front-facing camera. You don't have to do that. If you don't want to, you can change that. Remove moles, I don't want any kind of removal of things. I just want it to be natural. And smart aperture for group photos. That is more when you're taking more people and you don't want to have someone blurred in the background. So I would highly recommend having it on. Then we go to shutter type. This is just different things you can do to make the shutter work. I have it all off because I'm not used to it, but if you want something specific, just turn it on. Motion tracking focus, I have it off, but you can use it if you want to. Auto adjust lens, I do have it on both, but you can turn it off if you really want to dial it in the way you want to. But these are usually helpful. It just makes it it's just a different way. So if you're doing macro, you can have on ultra wide angle lens or on telephoto, and same thing with the telephoto being depending on the distance and brightness. So if it's a little bit too dark and it's not too far, you could use the main sensor because it's bigger. Thanks to this, it's a better photo, even though you're not using the telephoto. So it really depends. I have them both on. You can turn it off if you want to have more control. Display parameters, as you can see, I have them off, other than histogram, but usually these are something that a professional or someone that really wants to dial in the best out of this, you can turn it on and see that while taking the photo. But I don't have it on. For me, a phone is just much more of a run and gun situation, so I don't have it on it. From here, let's go to video. In video, once again, you can have the high compatibility and high efficiency. And once again, I'm gonna go with high compatibility, just because no matter where you're gonna send that video to, where you're gonna post it, where you wanted to use it on computer, maybe edit that in post-production, it's gonna be just much more compatible no matter where you're gonna see that footage. From there, the audio settings. Audio settings are pretty nice. You can do some cool things like smart noise reduction. I personally don't have it, but if I were in a situation, I would just really quickly switch it on, use it, and then switch it off. So if you're in a situation where there's a lot of noise or some background noise, you can turn it on and it's gonna be phenomenal. But without it, usually the sound is gonna be just more clear, just more natural. But I do have the dimensional immersive audio. I did it for testing. To be honest, you can turn it off. It's really not gonna make that much of a difference. I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna be the most difference if you have headphones and can really hear what side and everything. So I just turned it off. And other things are turned off too. We have the take photos while recording. I have dynamic shots or regular shots. You can just take regular shots. This is when you want to take a photo when recording. So whatever you want to do is up to you. Motion tracking focus, I have that turned off. Adaptive telephoto, once again on. Display parameters, as you can see, once again the same thing. I do have histogram, waveform, and audio histogram. And then auto frame rate, because this is a phone and this is more of a run and gun situation for me, I do have it at auto frame rate, just so that it's better in low light situations, for example, where it does have to get lower frame rates and lower shutter speed, just so that it can get a little bit more light in. So that is how I set it up. And in general, the grid lines, I like to have the rule of thirds and center mark. You can also get the straightener so that you know if everything is straightened. So this is how I would set it up. Well, at first I didn't really like the rule of thirds or any kind of grids on it. With time I found myself actually liking it, and it helps with composition and making sure everything is the way you want to. Everything is straight. Preserve settings, this is how I do it. So essentially, when we come back to the photos, Is it gonna remember your settings or is it gonna change to default? So as you can see, I have pretty much only the camera mode is not on. Other things are mostly on remember. I would actually get the filters also remember because I don't like the filters, and when they do have the filters, when I turn them off, I don't want them to be turned on the next time. It is pretty much how it was straight out of the camera. Feature layout, you can change it to your liking, so I'm not gonna do too much with that. Camera modes, with here, I personally like the more panel, but if it's once again a personal preference, what do you like? Camera UI, that is once again a personal preference, you can change it to your liking. Shutter sound, once again, to your liking, whatever you like. Really up to you, whatever you like. Default. And shutter sound, sure. Really quickly, if you like the music in this video or in any other of my work, check out the link down below for Epidemic Sound. With the link down below, you can get 30 days a free trial. And now let's get back into the settings. And now let's go to just the traditional camera settings. So when we are in the camera app, what we can change here? I have it at Leica Vibrant whenever I'm shooting at everyday situations like outdoors, indoors, whatever it is, usually at Leica Vibrant. I do like to change to Leica Authentic when it's a lower light or like artificial light especially, so that the artificial light looks a little bit more natural and not over processed and not over, saturated in a way. So that is my personal preference, but that is going to be totally up to you. From here, we don't really have too much of things to change. We have the HDR that I have it at auto. Photo resolution 12.5 megapixels. You can set it in more, but it's gonna actually limit the way you change things. I mean, at this point, you can really use it with all of the different lenses, but 12.5 is more than enough from a smartphone. And it still looks really good. And you're gonna save a lot of space in your phone. Aspect ratio 3:4. This is the natural, smartphone look. Timer, watermark off, super macro. I actually like to have super macro, but it is, when you click it, it turns into the super macro on the telephoto lens. So because of that, I have it turned off. And when I want to use it, I click on it to have that telephoto, being the super macro that it has. So let's turn it off. From here, I would pretty much say it's all as it is. We don't really have anything else to change. If you need the flashlight, you have the flashlight on the top on the left, and we have the motion. If you're doing something that when someone is running and you don't want to have it blurred out because it's too fast, or whatever kind of motion, a car or whatever, this is what I would use, but it's better in higher light situation. The more light you're gonna have, the better it's gonna be, because it has to have a shorter shutter speed and all of that. With that being said, I would turn it off unless we need that in that situation. On the video side, I like to shoot at 4K 60 frames per second. You can change that if you want to. It's all up to you. I personally love to have 4K 60 frames per second because that way we have 4K 60 frames per second across all the lenses. You can change while recording. It is a nice 4K recording, and 60 frames per second is just super smooth, and you can actually slow it down to 50% to have some of that slow motion. And because 4K 60 frames per second is available on all lenses, and you don't have that situation where you have to change the lenses and change the settings to match that lens. Now all is available on all lenses. From here, we can also tap down, and once again we have the super macro, night mode, shoot steady. All of these can be turned on, but I usually have it like this: super macro only when I want that macro. Then the night mode is nice if you're shooting at night, but usually I never actually turned on and it still looks really good. Shot steady, I don't use it because I think the stabilization built-in is already good enough. If you want to, you can do that, but that is gonna actually downgrade your resolution, so how sharp the footage is. So that is why I don't use it. We also have one more thing, is the Pro mode. And here in the Pro mode, it really is up to you at this point. I think if you're already going into the Pro mode, you know what you're doing and you don't need my help. But just like a quick overview, you can change the megapixel, but remember that is going to change how many lenses are available. So for 200 megapixel, we only have the telephoto. And then from here, with 12.5, we can actually shoot in RAW and Ultra RAW, which lets you edit in post-production. So you can edit those photos in post-production and get more out of the camera sensors that we have on the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. You can shoot in Authentic and Vibrant, and all those settings you see below, so like the shutter speed, ISO, you can change that to your liking and really get the settings down the way you want to. It is really cool that the Xiaomi 17 Ultra has that Pro mode because many smartphones still don't have it in 2026. Also, if you want to shoot video in Pro mode, all you have to do is click on the bottom right and it switches into the video. If we go to down and then go for log, as you can see, now is much more flat picture profile. It's gonna look a little bit different. It is gonna be a flat picture profile that looks much more professional, something from like the camera that you're watching from. But this is for those that want to color grade in post-production and get the most out of the cameras when recording video. With that being said, you can turn it off on depending on what you want to. For many, even turning it off is going to be the better option for not, color grading in post-production, but having the extra settings here is going to be a nice game changer. With that being said, these are the best camera settings you can get on the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. This is a very capable camera, and I think it's one of the best, if not the best, camera phones out there on the market. The hardware definitely is on another level. With that being said, if you have any more questions about the cameras of the Xiaomi 17 Ultra, let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.